Tell me, do you like having the power to turn the tide of battle in your allies' favor while smashing your enemies with photonic fury? Well, Techter might be right up your alley. My name's Zio, and today we'll be taking a look at Techter skills, photon arts, and core gameplay mechanics. So without any further ado, grab your wand and your Talis, and let's become angels of the battlefield. Now let's take a look at the skills that make the Techter worthy of that title. Shift A and D band increase damage dealt while decreasing damage taken by yourself and anyone else nearby. It also has skills that boost damage to downed enemies as well as increase enemy down factor. Even better, it can also increase natural PP recovery and status ailment resistance. There's also a skill that gives Shift A and D band to a revived ally. So you can see why this is the absolute creme de la creme of support skills. So of course you'll want to keep this up 24/7 thanks to its long duration and short cooldown. You can heal nearby allies with Rest of Field Techter. You'd think this is identical to its Force counterpart, but the healing effect is actually stronger here. You can fully restore your party's HP and PP with overemphasis. It also has the added boon of giving them an additional 50 max PP for a few seconds. If you played the original PSO2, this might sound familiar. With weak element amplifier, your photon blast gauge fills up faster when your attacks match your enemy's elemental weakness. You can also fill this up faster whenever a boss is around. Wand lovers lets you block oncoming enemy attacks with your own normal attacks and prevents knockback for 30 seconds. They also gain a speed and power boost thanks to Wand Lover's Reinforce. This also lets you dash towards your target if you're close enough. Using a charge technique will imbue your wand with its element, letting you inflict elemental downs and weakness multipliers. You can reset this by holding down the weapon action if you have Wand Element Revoke. Now some people skip this, but there is a use case where you'd want to inflict physical downs. When you parry an attack with your weapon action and follow up with a normal, you'll clap back with a spicy counterattack. Wand Parry Counter Advance will add a shockwave to this effect. You can also set off Photonic Fury when you block with your weapon action. For Photon Arts, Swift Smash lets you dash towards your target if you're close enough. The more you charge it, the harder it hits if it connects. Wave Crash will smash down on the ground twice and has a decent AoE radius. This does a nice chunk of damage when paired with your foe's elemental weakness. For you Talis users, Tricky Capacitor fires off a long-range attack after a bar fills up just like a Photon Blast. It does decent damage and restores a good chunk of PP. When you hold down the weapon action while stationary, you'll deploy a trio of cards overhead. If you do it while moving, you'll just deploy one card. Now for Photon Arts, you have Convergent Shot and Spread Shot. The former is ideal for bosses, whereas the latter is best suited for groups of enemies. Now, what's a wizard without its spells? Foy shoots a fast-moving fireball at your target. Its charged version unleashes a big explosion that hits anything nearby. Foy makes a ring of flame around you that hits 3 times. The charged version summons a big fire pillar that hits the target and nearby enemies 3 times. With Barda, you'll shoot a ball of ice at your target. Barda makes a wall of ice in a fairly wide cone in front of you. Barda Blot makes a symbol on your target that gets bigger as you hit it with more uncharged ice spells. Detonate this with a charged ice spell, boom, big damage. Zonde strikes your enemies with a bolt of lightning. It also arcs and hits anything else nearby if uncharged. Uncharged Zonde will put down an electrical field that shocks anyone that comes inside of it 3 times. Charging it summons a big ball of electricity overhead. These two, alongside Zonde Clad, are an excellent AoE option, and on top of that, you have Elemental Wave Crash. Zon shoots a long-range trio of blades out in front of you. The charged version fires off a bigger wind blade. Gizon will hit your target with a tornado. Of course, charging it will make it even bigger. Zongale makes this great for AoE, especially for groups of enemies that are weak to wind. Grants will shoot off blades of light at your target from above their head. Charging it will call forth even bigger blades. Geek Grants fires 2 beams of light in a pretty wide circle around you. These spells will have additional attacks if Grant's Glitter is active. Megid shoots a ball of dark energy at your target that explodes on impact. Charging it will fire a bigger ball. Megid's Sphere will let you fire off more of these depending on how many stacks you have. Megid will hit your target with an explosion of dark energy. Charging it fires a beam over the target. Megid's Sphere makes this hit even harder depending on how many stacks you have. One important thing to keep in mind is that your wand elemental attacks don't affect blot or clad skills. Now for subclasses, you would think that Force is a natural fit, right? It does have excellent PP efficiency. On top of that, it also frees up points for shared skills like Zonde Clad. You also have Hunter Sub, which gives you access to Flash Guard and Hunter Physique for more survivability. This also lets you multi-weapon a sword to use a PA like Caliber Streak during down phases. Speaking of which, this is where Fighter and Bouncer subs really shine. Bouncer has the elemental blot and clad skills too. So this is how I set up my skills. You can skip the elemental skills if you plan on subbing Force or Bouncer. So now you're ready to bonk your way to victory, alongside those ready and eager to receive your boon. So if you found this helpful, well, you know what to do. So this time I incorporated some audience participation beyond just contributing information after the fact. Let me know if you want me to do that again in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching and for the continued support. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.